Take it away, Maestro boy.
Welcome. This is the Anime Critique, the monthly show where two best friends and anime connoisseurs, I wish I could say that in a French accent, connoisseurs. That was awful. Jamie and Shaq talk about all things anime and manga. On the last episode, we reviewed, what was it? Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Which I still haven't gotten around to watching the other movie.
You said you would watch the movie, and we said we'd do a complete package at some point. Before the end of this year.
Yeah.
Promise.
Yeah.
And what did we score it? We scored it a 6.
6, yeah. For now.
I remember that technicality. Yeah. So on today's episode, we will be reviewing and talking about the first season, because there are 2 seasons of this. Mm-hmm. The first season of Megalobox.
Megalobox.
Now, Shaq, give us a little tasty rundown of what Megalobox is.
So our main protagonist here initially goes by the name Junk Dog, but later on is renamed as Joe. And the setting is that they're in a bit of a grungy, modern sort of...
It's sort of like a
steampunk near future type deal.
If any of you guys have played Final Fantasy VII, it's like Midgar.
Kind of like Midgar, but it feels a little bit more urban, if you know what I mean. Like, it feels more...
I think from their point of view, we never really saw like the city life.
No.
Because when you look at because there's a company, Shirata.
Yeah, the Shirata Corporation.
Like they seem like Shinra.
Essentially, obviously
they're not as evil, obviously.
No.
But yeah, no, sorry. Carry on.
So this guy called Joe. Essentially, he has a gig going on where he does a lot of this thing called Megalo Boxing, where they use this thing called gear, which is like this enhanced sort of, I don't know, this upper body type deal where they kind of use it to box people. You know, it's quite cool looking. I was quite interested when I saw the little front cover.
It's sort of like it's like a prosthetic.
Yeah.
But even though it's not a prosthetic, it's like it sort of attaches to your arms and across your upper back. And they never really give a description of what it actually does, but from context throughout the show,
kind of, but it's not delved into enough.
Do you know what it seems like? It seems a bit like the gear is not standardized. They all do different shit.
It's very guerrilla type deal, so you know they kind of just piece together whatever. There's no sort of regulations or anything like that. Yeah. Which is, I thought that was pretty cool. I was actually interested to see where they go with that. But I'll get into that later on. So essentially they have this little thing called Megalo Boxing, where it's a very dirty, gritty version of boxing.
Yeah, it's like a pseudo boxing. It's different rules for sure, which I sort of found out later on in the series is that there's no round limit, so it could go on indefinitely until someone wins. So therefore I don't think there's any point system.
No. It's
like traditional boxing.
It's whoever gets knocked out and getting up. There's a countdown. There's a countdown, I think.
Oh yeah, when someone gets knocked down, that would be a TKO. Yeah. But there's no limit on how many times you can be downed either. In regular boxing, if you get down twice in a round, that's a TKO. It seems, especially in some of the fights, and I might need some sort of fact checking on this. But Joe goes down like 3 or 4 times in some rounds.
4 times in like a match. So it's very
like
loose.
Nothing. If he can get back up, he can fight. Basically. So it's kind of a bit, as you said, it's a bit more of a gritty.
It's more gritty. It's more rough. It's a little.
I would say it's
loose.
a bit. It's like a mix of like bare knuckle fighting and boxing.
Yeah. That's perfect description. So Joe, essentially, what he does for a living is that he throws fights for money. So he has the ability to actually box quite well, but he has to throw these fights to make a living.
Well, I would say he can fight quite well. I wouldn't say he could box quite well. Because I think boxing in this world...
Apples and oranges.
Yeah, I think boxing in this world is not like boxing as we perceive it to be.
No, I think just for this particular anime, let's just spend...
synonymous boxing and fighting, yeah.
Yeah. So we're not talking about the boxing of this world, we're just talking about the boxing of that world.
Because there's very little technique in this. Which some people might see as a negative, but personally, I did not mind at all.
Yeah. I'm not coming into this expecting I like Mayweather versus Pacquiao or some shit like that.
So I like boxing, but not enough for me to care that... This is very... It's just like... It's sort of like put them up and duke them out type of thing.
I think if you want to look at more... If you're interested in more fighting animes that are more technical, I would say probably like... what's the one that everyone talks about?
Hajime no Ippo.
Well, there's that one, but there's another one that popped off on Netflix. I watched it, but I wasn't really.
Oh, what, the MMA kind of one?
Yeah.
Is it
Baki? Yeah, because that one kind of delves a little bit into like technique.
That's more. That's not obviously boxing. That's
it's more mixed martial arts. So you have a drop of everything. But getting back to the synopsis.
Yeah, he throws fights for a living.
He throws fights. Essentially, one day he meets a boxer who actually really gives him a run for his money. But this is a very unofficial sort of like impromptu fight. It's not like he had to throw the fight.
Yeah, and he turns out to be the champion of Megalo Boxing.
Basically. And so from that one fight alone, he gets that sort of fire in his belly just to go and chase down that guy to fight him in like this thing called Megalonia, where it's like this massive Megalo Boxing competition tournament type deal. And they go in there and they fight him, blah, 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 blah. So that's essentially
it's like a road to glory.
Yeah, road to glory, road to championships. Very traditional sports story.
It's a non sort of complicated outline. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just like
it's simple and effective. It serves its purpose. It's not trying to be heady or like conscious. It's just very much,
which is very different from what we reviewed last month.
Yeah, this is a far cry.
I'll be perfectly honest with you. From what we watched last month, this was a breath of fresh air because I didn't have to like go shit. Did I miss something there?
It's a casual anime you can throw on in the background. You can pay attention to it. You don't have to like be poised.
And I, for one, and I know my co-host sitting across from me here, I, for one, very much enjoyed it.
I think it's... I'm going to call it what it is. I'm going to call a spade a spade. I think it's mediocre.
You think it's mediocre?
I think it's mediocre. And
I think it's quite good.
Let's start with the good. Because I know people already think, oh boy, here we go.
Well, no, this is good because so far we've, in the anime critique episodes we've done, we've largely agreed on everything.
Yeah. So
this is the first fist fight. This is our first actual Megalobox fight.
I'm gonna put like a little boxing bell in the fucking ding ding ding. All right, let me start with the good.
Oh yeah, I will say as well, there is no such thing as weight classes in this as well. Because there is a fight. When he first gets into Megalonia,
and he's fighting this other dude. He's quite big. He's quite tall.
He's called like the Lion, he's fucking huge.
Oh, he's built like a brick house. He is.
So I will just say, I don't know how Joe actually beats some of these people.
From what I was watching, it seems that they just don't know really how to fight. A lot of them are just relying on their gear to carry them.
Yeah, there's sort of a... Which I do like. There's like the through line that the gear doesn't make the fighter. It's the fighter that makes the fighter.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I want to talk about is that's the first positive. It has a lot of slice of life topics weaved in quite
I think that's quite a nice little moral to the story as well.
Of course.
Because it's like people like... It's sort of like
athletes using drugs.
Well, no, not really, because that, in a way, because that enhanced their performance.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say, it's kind of like a nice little moral to the story. It's just like, you can do all these things to enhance you. You can use aids and stuff, but at the end of the day, you're the one using them. So you have to be in control of everything. The whole Megalobox thing, and because there's sort of like a sub-story within it, and I'll get into that in a second, is the gear, it's sort of like who has the best gear rather than who's the best fighter.
Exactly.
And this tournament was set up to find the best fighter, but there's a subplot because the champion has this sort of state-of-the-art gear that's... Well, I didn't actually realise this into the last episode. I thought they were talking metaphorically when they said this, but when they go, it's a part of him, I thought they meant that metaphorically, but in the last episode, you actually find it is actually physically a part of him.
Yeah.
It's been fully integrated onto his sort of shoulders and like down to his wrists on his both arms and across his back. And it sort of amplifies the fight. And as we said, it's the battle of the best gear.
Yeah.
Because there is a fighter, which is actually someone that was associated with the company, who's the brother of the lady who owns the company. His fucking gear had AI tech.
Yeah, so like sum it all up, he's got aimbot, guys. He's cheating. He's more or less cheating.
Well, it can read your fight. It can read your moves.
Yeah.
And sort of react accordingly.
Like react in a way where it's just impossible for any human to. Like he literally, like his arm will be moving in one direction, but if it like figures out that it's actually a bad move, or just like in like split seconds, just
I do like how Joe beats it though. It's like he has to become like unpredictable.
Yeah, so he literally just stands there and it doesn't know what to do, which is hilarious. Because coming from because I do like programming and just learning like AIs and shit, it's like that's fucking hilarious. If you don't give AI anything to work with, it can't do anything.
Yeah, well, that's why he didn't want to fight him originally.
Yeah,
because there's a plot where he finds out that Joe gets his so as you said, he's this fighter called Junk Dog who isn't a citizen, and he forges citizenship to join this tournament.
Yeah, and
this fighter finds out that Joe is, well, it's a fake ID he's using to fight basically, and threatens if you don't.
Shirato.
Yes, yeah. Sorry, bit of a tangent. You were going with some positives.
Yeah, so the positives I want to say is that they weaved in the slice of life elements quite well. A lot of life lessons, a lot of sort of, parables and sort of little things here and there about. I like the one about the scorpion, about, the scorpion that stung the frog. I thought that was quite,
with the gangster guy.
I thought it was quite symbolic as well. And I like what this anime is trying to do in terms of create a story.
Well, I really liked the gangster, the head mafia gangster guy.
Hold on one second, let me get some water. Sorry, my throat is just been.
Yeah, because I thought that like head's gangster dude, like he was kind of like he was a very odd individual. He was like he was very sophisticated. Like every time you met him, he was like cooking like these fantastic dishes and stuff. But he was like a crime boss, and like he wanted Joe to get to the tournament to pay off their debts.
Yeah. So he wasn't your typical sort of knucklehead kind of crime boss.
No, he was quite well, and he's
very, like you said, sophisticated, right?
Yeah, and he was the one that come with the scorpion and the frog story, as opposed to his coach, who Joe named Pops. And I know he had a name, but like
this is Nambu here.
Nambu, there we go. I just know him as Pops because he was always called Pops, but Nambu. So it's sort of like there's like a twist. It was just like, when you get to the tournament, you're going to throw the match so we can make a shit ton of money.
Yeah, so there was a situation where you said that with the ID and they had to leave Megalonia. And so obviously Pops owes the crime boss a lot of money.
Yeah, they never really say how much it is or like why he owes him a lot of money.
Oh, fuck. Yeah.
Don't worry.
So my girl was just like, don't worry, we'll fix it later. It's like the spring on like the mic arm, it just popped off.
That's fine. Don't worry.
Is it good?
No, it's not even broke. It's just because I play around with it during the podcast.
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, so essentially I had to sort out a deal to get Joe to throw the match, but Joe doesn't know that until much later on, and he's quite pissed off about it.
Of course he is, because he wants to go all the way and fight the champion.
Exactly. So I thought that little subplot there was quite nice. I thought that was a very nice little, intense moment. And I think that's what I enjoy about just these little characters and their little stories and what they bring and the lessons they learn from those little situations. I thought that's really great. Now, that's kind of where my positives start and stop with this anime.
Really? Like, I kind of think there's quite a few more positives that you sort of...
I think there are some cool characters. Like I said, the crime boss is cool.
Like, I think the whole sort of like the fighter that he used to train and everything, who went off to war and everything and come back and become a Megalobox fighter. I thought that was quite cool.
See, I thought that was cool, but I think one of the things that kind of threw me off with that one is like, okay, yeah, you used to do this stuff with Pops and whatever.
Yeah.
And you feel a type of way. If you would... Obviously, Pops didn't know he was alive.
Yeah, I did find that a little weird that he didn't like.
Why didn't you come and reach out?
Yeah,
that's what I kind of like.
And he kind of took a bit of
the ump with him.
He was like, "Well, you didn't find me." He was like, "Yeah, because I thought you were dead."
Exactly. That's what kind.
But I understand like the bitterness of it. Like he was like this grizzled, bitter sort of war veteran who had like lost his legs. And yeah, I suppose he didn't. I don't know, but I quite liked that.
I thought it was cool, but I thought it had a bit of a sloppy landing with that whole little flaw of like, well, why didn't you reach out to him to say, yo, I'm alive? Because then maybe he would have been a little bit more warm. It's like, oh shit, blah, blah, blah. How are you, such and such and whatever. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I see where they're going with this, but that little sort of plot hole for me I have another positive. Okay.
I liked, and I will admit there is a fine line between this, because I could see you arguing this point. I liked that there was a lot of fights in this 13 episode anime. Because animes are notorious at longing fights out.
Okay.
So we get probably, and it's not always Joe, but we probably get a dozen or so fights. I think there's a fight every episode.
Pretty much. I don't think you go without one fight, at least one episode.
Now,
yeah.
I can understand that some fights might have needed maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but I liked the fact that we were able to get a large variety. And what I also liked as well, which again I can see you arguing, is that it was fast paced. It was fight after fight after fight. There was no waiting period. There was no downtime. And I know in some animes, which I'm pretty sure is going to be brought up quite a bit, like Hajime no Ippo, there is downtime between each fight.
Yeah. Now, I'm not going to compare it to that anime.
I think it's unfair to...
I'm not... You know why? Because obviously this is only 13 episodes and that...
Well, also,
season,
there is a second season to this.
Well, yeah, but if we're talking just purely about the first season...
No, we are. I'm just saying there is a second season as well.
Yeah.
Which I think we will watch.
Yeah, I'll watch it. You know, it's not... Like I said, I think it's mediocre, but I don't think it's the worst thing I've seen. I just think...
It's far from bad.
It's not a bad anime. There's a lot of things...
I really liked it.
So, going back when you were saying about the fights, this is probably my biggest gripe with the fights.
See,
No?
guys, I knew he would.
It lacks this intensity that I thought it would bring.
The last fight didn't.
The last fight didn't, but at this point I'm thinking...
The last fight turns into an absolute slugfest, and it is brilliant.
It's great. But I would say 80% of the fights lack this oomph to them, where I feel like when they throw a punch and it really lands in a great sweet spot, whether it be the chin or the gut or whatever, it lacks that oomph.
But then is that not a problem with like the production rather than the actual storytelling of the anime?
Well, that's the thing. I don't have a problem with that story part of the anime. Like, I think the story is fine.
But that was my point, is I liked that there was quite a lot of fights. I can agree on the point that we could have made the fights more like, what did you say?
Yeah.
Intense, yeah. I agree. Because there's some fights that, like, for example, when he goes in for the first round of the tournament and he fights this guy called the Lion, like, he's meant to be the 3rd best fighter in the world, and it's over in like 2 rounds.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoyed the fight. Because okay. I think what we discovered throughout the entire thing is that these top fighters just had the best gear. They weren't the best fighter.
No, that I completely that was obvious from the get-go, which is how Joe was beating his opponents. It was like,
because he was a superior fighter.
He just knew how to fight properly.
Did you like that? So most of the twists, I should say, I kind of wasn't surprised or didn't see coming. The one that actually I was kind of like, oh, okay, because I didn't read anything about this anime beforehand. I just knew I wanted to watch it years ago when it first came out, and then obviously when we started this podcast, I thought this was a perfect time to watch it. It kind of gave me the excuse to watch it. So the only thing that kind of got me was that he was going to go gearless the whole time. Yeah,
that did kind of
throw
me off.
I thought that was quite cool.
I think that is definitely one of the anime's best features of this thing being like he's gearless. But you know, we've seen this kind of archetype a lot where the protagonist is like the underdog. He hasn't got what other people got.
True, but we've also seen in other animes, namely shonen animes, the main character has a ridiculously overpower.
Yes.
So it's like this was sort of the opposite. Like, he was like purposely handicapping himself and proving himself to be the best fighter. Yeah,
so you're right. He definitely was handicapped, but he definitely had something that no one else had, which was actual like fighting knowledge.
Well, he was the only person that had actually,
besides Yuri, because Yuri knew how to fight as well. When he took his gear off.
Yeah, but he did. So Yuri's the champion. I don't think we've mentioned.
Yeah, we didn't mention that. Sorry, the champ's Yuri.
So Yuri did rely on the gear.
He did.
But he fell in love, not love, but he fell in love with how Joe fought.
Yeah.
Like, he respected Joe on like a level that was like, you are the pinnacle of skill. And they sort of talk about it. It's just like, what's like true skill and everything. And the true skill is Joe was beating these fighters with no gear in a match where, well, gear was, as I said earlier, it was just like the fights. Well, the fights was who had the best gear rather than who was the best fighter.
That's what I mean. Like, gear has become a crutch for a lot of people.
And if you saw as well in the corners, there was a lot of like their team, but they were like engineers.
Yeah.
Like, they weren't like cut men or like people that would like sit with the fighter and everything. They would look after the gear.
It reminds me of this particular arc in Beyblade, like the anime. And I think it was when they were in the USA League, when he was like, Max was like playing against like their team, and like his mum was like the owner of the opposite team,
and she had like
a lot of data and computers and whatever, and he just relied on just pure willpower. Like, I think that's what this whole sort of season is kind of just expanding upon. It's just the willpower of the fighter.
Well, I'm gonna say this: it was so Joe prevailed because of his fighting spirit, and that is comparing it to Hajime no Ippo.
But yeah, I think that is definitely a key thing in Hajime no Ippo.
And maybe we'll review it one day. I know you've recently watched it, but maybe some years down the line we'll review it. But Hajime no Ippo is about Ippo, the main character.
Makanouchi?
And I'll be honest with you, and I know you haven't seen a lot, he's not a great boxer at all, but he has the grit and the determination to sort of dig in deep and
really pull out. Yeah, he's not like, you can't like, he wouldn't sit there and think, oh, he's like incredibly smart and sharp and whatever. Like, I wouldn't say he's a sloppy boxer either. He's very good.
No,
he's not as good as someone.
He's not very good.
Well,
so I've read quite a lot of the manga. He's not a great boxer at all. He just has superior fighting spirit.
Yeah,
that's all it is.
Well, yeah, okay, but I think with Hajime no Ippo is that it does focus a lot on the technical aspect of boxing, which I do appreciate.
Yeah, where Megalo Box doesn't so much. Like,
not a problem.
I wouldn't have mind seeing. Oh, you don't even know this yet. I wouldn't have mind seeing like Joe bust out a Dempsey roll. Which,
no, I've seen the Dempsey.
Have you seen? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I've seen the Dempsey roll. I've literally finished the whole first season, so I've seen. The Dempsey
I don't know when he developed it.
It was quite. So it was like towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I can't remember. But yeah, it's like, it would have been nice to see like Joe bust out like a Dempsey roll.
See, I sat down.
I'm not saying like literally the Dempsey roll, but something
like that. But so just to give you guys some, be candid with you guys, I was watching Hajime no Ippo while watching Megalo Box at the same time. So of course I was in a very bit of a boxing mood.
I do think this slightly alters your opinion on Megalobox, because I will say this, and this is a little spoiler for many years down the line when we do review Hajime no Ippo. Hajime no Ippo is fantastic. Like, yeah, it's a very good anime. There's no sugarcoating it. It's genuinely one of the best, if not the best, sports anime out there. So I think it's unfair to compare the two, even though we've been comparing the two for the last 5 minutes.
Of course, but I don't want Megalo Box to be Hajime no Ippo, and I don't want Hajime no Ippo to be Megalo Box. I don't mind it being its own product, its own identity. I'm completely okay with that. I like the setting, I like the soundtrack, I think some characters are pretty cool. But I feel that where Megalo Box really puts a lot of effort in to its lessons, its its characters to some extent, I think it really falls short on the fights. And I think quality, yes, but I like the fact that there's a lot of fights. There's a lot of fights. But
do you know what? I would say that there's probably more fights in the first season of Megalobox than there is in the first season of Hajime no Ippo, which is what, 70 odd episodes?
Yeah, but I think where Hajime...
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying. Okay. I like that. Do you know what it is? Do you know what it reminds me of?
Okay.
Like Yu-Gi-Oh! used to have the most long-winded Yu-Gi-Oh duels. Then when it went to Yu-Gi-Oh GX, you would have a dual learn episode. And I'll be perfectly honest with you, Yu-Gi-Oh GX is better than the original Yu-Gi-Oh.
It's been a long time since I've watched.
I'm just saying. So I like when things are wrapped up in one episode.
Okay.
I could like the championship fight, and maybe like the other fight with like the lion guy could have been two episodes, and then the last one could have been 3 episodes. I'll put my hands up and say that. But all these like little fights that he was trying to get to qualify, I don't mind that being 1 episode.
Okay.
Like a self-contained episode. And that's what they were.
No, they're self-contained episodes. Like, I haven't got a problem with the pacing. I think the pacing's, it's fine. Like, if you want to do a 12, 13 episode anime, cool. I ain't got no problem with that. When I mean about the fights, I'm not talking about the length. I don't want like a 5-episode spirit bomb fight or shit like that. I'm talking about the intensity.
No, I agree. I can agree with that.
But
then can you not see that the intensity is taken out because it's dependent on the gear itself? Rather than it being about the fighter, it's about the gear, and Joe was the person to make it about the fighter.
No, that's perfectly fine. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with Joe. I understand what they're doing with the whole gear versus gearless thing, and it's not so much about gear. But like,
I know what you're saying. I'm just trying to like throw just like food for thought out there.
Okay.
Because I don't wholeheartedly agree with what you're saying. I understand what you're saying, and I do agree to some extent. But I think it, and I say bothered in quotes here, I think it bothered you more than it bothered me.
I think if you're going to do one thing really well, I think the other thing can't just be I feel like there has to be a hand-in-hand situation. Like, I feel like the fight should have been as good as like the slice of life portions of the anime.
Maybe.
Which I don't feel it was. I feel that it was a very sluggish.
I disagree. I think they were just as good as each other. I genuinely do.
Like, there was just moments where I'm just like, okay, cool. Like, yeah, the characters are saying that Joe's really good at fighting.
Do you know what?
I don't see it as good. Well,
no, I know, but I think it's because people were dependent on gear, and that's all it was.
It's not even got nothing to do with gear, bro.
I think it is.
Like, for me, I'm telling you, as from me.
No, I'm saying in the context of the anime itself. I think it's because people were so dependent on gear that people lost like the art of fighting.
That's cool.
And Joe, I mean, we see in flashbacks throughout the series that he was like a bare knuckle fighter, like without gear before becoming a Megalo Boxer.
Yeah. And
I was just about to say, it's like, because we'll score it in a second.
Oh, wow.
It's been, I
feel like I haven't even said everything about it.
So. Oh, no, we can continue. It's fine. I was going to say a few things. I like the way it ended. I really like ambiguous. Well, we know Joe won, but I like the ambiguous sort of thing about like how it played for like the last 5 minutes. You don't know who won. Obviously, you know Joe won, but like
I thought it was cute.
I quite liked that. Like, you don't know who passed out first, and it was just like, I mean, Joe won because it's like it's well, it's quite obvious that he won because I think a woman, Serato. She started crying in the car, didn't she? Yeah.
Well, she just said that. Yeah, I saw the results.
Also,
and I wasn't
was Yuri wheelchair bound now? Because
I think
at the end it was a year later.
I think he was. I'm not sure what happened there, but he was in like a wheelchair of some sort.
But I like the way it wrapped up. It had a closed ending, and knowing that there's a season 2, I'm thinking, well, I don't think there needs to be a season 2, but it'd be interesting to see where it goes.
Yeah, I think it's in a situation where it can go anywhere from there.
Well, he won Joe and he retired straight away.
Well, they did leave a little thing about the Serato Corporation about trying to branch into more military.
Yeah. I don't know if that will be a thing in the season 2. I mean, maybe.
I think that would be pretty damn interesting.
Well, we will watch it. Because whenever I see people talking about this anime, people say season 2 is much better than season 1.
I hope so.
So, I mean, there's hope for you. Well, and just, 2 things, and then I will get onto your things. Because I'm relatively positive on this anime. I don't really have any negatives other than it was really fun. The one thing I will say is if anyone's seen Kill la Kill, the anime style and art style, it reminded me of Kill la Kill.
I think this is way more tame than Kill la Kill.
No, I'm not talking tamed. Yes,
I don't even mean like.
I'm talking the art style.
I'm talking about like art style as well.
I don't know.
I feel like Kill la Kill is far more flashy and colourful.
There was a lot of backdrops that were just like drawn.
If anything, this reminds me a tad bit of Samurai Champloo.
Okay, yeah, I can see that as well.
And that's what got me in.
Yeah, well, Joe kind of gives that vibe.
He does give that vibe because he looks like one of the main characters.
He does look like one of the main characters.
Let me find his name.
Sorry, just two things that I found really, really weird with this, and then we'll get into what some of the things that you want to say. I think it's in episode 10 when Joe's about to fight the lion guy. And the kid starts rapping.
Yes. I'm glad you brought this up. That was some garbage.
But no, forget the quality of it. It was just so not needed.
It was so random and it was terrible.
It's not like he established himself as like a singer or an artist or something, this kid. He was like a little street rat, sort of like an Aladdin type of character, like a little thief.
Oh my God.
And he just started rapping while he was doing like shadow boxing.
Fucking garbage.
And I thought that was really weird. And the other thing I thought was really weird is the crime boss. He was hell-bent on getting payment back from like the coach and Joe, and he wanted the money, but he accepted payment in full because the coach gouged out his eye, his other eye. He already had one eye. Yeah, but it made no sense because he was just like, so the crime boss was like, I know how much you wanted to see Joe fight in that final, and for someone to gouge out that eye, that's payment enough for me. And I was just like,
yeah, he went from being completely unreasonable to just very reasonable, and I'm like, all right, you lot just needed to push the story on without it getting too...
I thought that was very, very bizarre. I understand like because he was like the one that come up with like the scorpion and the frog sort of thing, and the coach was the scorpion while Joe was the frog.
Yes.
But I found that really fucking weird that he accepted payment of his eye as and just wipe all his debts. I thought it was bizarre. No,
it was very bizarre, and it just kind of came out.
But the rapping, that was
fucking terrible. Like
I don't actually know why that was in there.
When I heard that, I was like, that was the moment where I thought, yeah, this anime is not it for me.
Really? I must admit that that part was really, really strange. Really, and it's only like a couple of minutes, but it's really, really strange.
It is the most awkward couple of minutes I've seen in any
It's
anime.
terrible.
And I've watched like Kill la Kill, which can get very fucking awkward because it's like
if you live with your parents and someone walks in at the wrong time.
I watch this shit at work. I'm like, why am I watching this shit at work? I'm literally in the lunchroom and I'm like, why is there a schoolgirl in skimpy outfit on my fucking phone right now?
It's an anime, guys. Chill.
Yeah, it's an anime. Sorry.
Not that makes that any better.
It doesn't make it any better. But
people rate that anime, by the way.
No, don't get me wrong. Do you know what? It's a good anime.
We'll watch that one day. I'll put it on the list. I don't think that's on the list.
No. I guess I'll rewatch it. Fuck it. How many episodes is that? I don't think it's that
20
long.
odd.
All right, yeah, fuck it. I'll throw that one. But
get into your stuff, bro.
Yeah, so and then there wasn't a lot of moments where it felt like... What's the word I'm looking for when you're not sure whether something's going to go good or bad?
Don't know. Just say that. You weren't sure whether it was good or bad.
It didn't make me feel uneasy or like I wasn't nervous. Like, when there's certain situations that just need a little bit of...
I think one of the reasons why I really enjoyed this is it was just easy watching.
It's easy watching. I'm not asking it to be like complex.
No, I know. But some of your negative points are because it wasn't good enough in the aspects it could have been good enough.
Yeah.
I think because it was so easy watching, I don't mind that some things fell short in. Like, for example, when we watched Golden Boy, I don't think Golden Boy is like the pinnacle of storytelling but it's so fun and so easy watching that you kind of look past all its shortcomings. Well, I kind of had a similar sort of thing with Megalobox.
Okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
You're not wrong. In Golden Boy's situation, it's so fucking funny that it doesn't even need to be complex.
Yes, I understand Golden Boy with the comedy kind of carries it, whereas Megalobox doesn't really have anything that can kind of carry it. Well, it depends. I really like the characters. I really like the characters.
No, like, it's the characters in Golden Boy are fucking hilarious.
No, Megalobox.
Well, just to go on to like the comparison and whatever about it, whatever. I think Golden Boy does something so well that it carries everything else.
No, 100%. I don't disagree.
The story is serviceable to the point where it doesn't feel out of place. It doesn't feel poorly written or poorly paced. That's what makes Golden Boy amazing to me.
But I would say the same thing with Megalobox, but it doesn't have that one thing that carries it as strongly as Golden Boy.
Megalobox's story is serviceable to me. Like it's fine.
I think it's nice and it wraps it up in a nice bow at the end.
It's a nice little. You know what it is. When I came into Megalobox, what I got was a cake, just a cake, nothing else. No icing, no cream, no nothing. What I was expecting was a little bit of icing, maybe some cream filling in the middle, but I just kind of got, this is a boxing anime. And they didn't really give me anything else.
I don't agree, man, because you've even said yourself like some of like the philosophical stuff was good.
I thought it was nice.
I think in some of the episodes certainly it carries it. And I think that because there is so many sort of I really like the idea of like the gear was never the person, there was never the fighter, it was the fighter that made the fight. I really quite enjoyed that.
I do wish that some of the people that he fought were a little bit more standout, a little bit more weirder, maybe a bit more.
Oh come on,
animated.
The first guy he fights, that shark dude, stands out.
No, he's a bit of a standout.
And then the guy who knew the coach who went to the war, he's a standout.
I think his backstory
the brother who had the AI was a standout. Yuri, Miki, obviously,
Yuri's Yuri.
But Miki the only one I would say isn't a standout was
Lion Guy Lion Guy wasn't doing it for me. Army Guy was cool. I liked his story more than actually his character. I liked the idea that it's an army dude who's come back and has these prosthetics and so on.
He had 2 prosthetic legs as well.
I thought that was a cool concept.
Yeah, no, I thought it was a cool concept as well.
But him as an actual character, I'm like, he's okay. He's just fine.
But I still think they stood out because they were different from each fighter. You could say each fighter he fought was different. The only 2 fighters that were sort of similar were Yuri and the AI dude.
Yeah.
I think that's unfair to say that none of his fights stood out. I think in terms of technique, in terms of the fight in itself,
none of his fights stood out. I just think that not a lot of them stood out for me personally.
But I've just named like pretty much his entire like fights, other than like the bums that he fights in like the illegal ring when he's throwing fights and stuff.
Like when I look at this cover, right, it looks very. It looks very good to me. I was expecting something like that cover to just jump out at me.
That's what I like about that cover because it shows him wearing gear.
Yeah, I wasn't like. It's cool that he wasn't wearing gear, but when I see this cover and how it's drawn, I was expecting really gritty, street, urban, just in your face. You know, I was expecting like a real rabid junk dog.
So really and truly, it just didn't live up to the expectations.
It didn't live up to my own expectations of what I thought I was going to get. I wasn't expecting the moon and the stars. I was expecting something with a bit of personality, something that really I felt, stood out amongst something I probably might have seen before in this type of setting.
I haven't seen anything like this before.
I feel like I've seen this before. I feel like I might have seen something like this before.
I definitely haven't seen anything like this before. There's elements of things I've seen before, but this I haven't seen before. I think it was quite good. I think we should score it.
I think
I'm going to be hurt by this because we have to take the in between.
Let me hear your score.
Do you know what? I'd give it an 8 out of 10. I think it was very enjoyable and very easy watching, and I'm excited to watch a second season now, knowing that there's a season 2.
I'm giving this a very, very light 5.
That's so unfair.
I'm sorry. Like
to me, this was better than Vinland
Saga.
Yeah.
No, I would 100% take Vinland Saga over this any day.
Vinland Saga was boring, man. The fights were cool, but Vinland Saga was boring.
I think Vinland Saga had a better story. I personally think
disagree completely. I couldn't tell you the story of Vinland Saga.
I could tell you it,
bro. If you remember the Vinland Saga, it was just the prologue.
This fucking prologue.
we don't know the story of Vinland Saga.
All right, from Vinland Saga season 1 to me is better than Megalo Box season 1.
Disagree, man.
Like maybe season 2 will change my mind.
5 is harsh for this.
I'm giving it a 5.
5 is. I
can't give it a 6 because there was like a 6 to me is like I enjoyed it.
Well, we have to split the difference.
So let's see how will we split an 8 and a 5.
Yeah, because it doesn't actually go.
That's probably like.
Yeah, you're gonna say 6 and I'm gonna say 7.
Do I want to give it a 7 though?
I couldn't give it a 6.
I don't know if I could give this a 7.
Unless, and we did say we weren't going to do this unless we start putting points in.
Do you really want to do points, or is that not something you're comfortable with? Because if you're,
I could do 0.5s. That is as far as I can go because I don't really like points, but I could do 0.5s because I feel like I could be happy with a 6.5. I'm not happy with anything less than that. Personally, I think it's an 8. I could be argued to a 7, but I couldn't give it anything lower than a 6.5. I would say is fair for me because I really enjoyed this. I really enjoyed it.
I wouldn't say I didn't enjoy it. I
enjoyed this.
Just wasn't that impressed.
I enjoyed this more. So out of everything we've watched, I've enjoyed this the most. Only because I had seen Golden Boy before. If I hadn't seen Golden Boy before, then fair enough. But everything else I had seen before... Well, no, I hadn't seen... No, I hadn't actually seen... I'm talking rubbish.
Well,
Golden Boy was the only thing I had seen before. The other two I hadn't seen before.
I had started Evangelion like a couple times, but I never finished it.
Yeah, I know. I think I had done the same, to be perfectly honest. But I don't remember.
Olivia's tried to get me to watch Vinland Saga for ages, and so this is a good reason why I watched Vinland Saga.
I will go 6.5 if you're happy with it.
I'll take 6.5.
So are we doing points from now on?
I think in situations like this where we're both on the opposite end of the spectrum, we're gonna have to give it.
Okay, if we're in agreement, we'll do whole numbers. If we're in disagreement, we can do points, but only 0.5. We don't do 0.7s or shit.
No. Fuck that. That's just splitting it far too down the line.
Because then we might as well score it out of 100 if we're gonna do that.
I'm willing to give it a 6.5. Personally, I think it's a 5, but
I think it's an 8. I think it's fun as fuck, man.
Wow, damn! I wish I enjoyed it as much as you did. But
I think I honestly, and you might disagree, I think the fact that you were watching Hajime no Ippo with it took some of the enjoyment out of it. Only because one of your biggest gripes is the quality and the intensity of the fights, where obviously the intensity and quality of fights in Hajime no Ippo is amazing.
It's amazing.
I do think, and like we've known each other long enough, so I'm happy to say this. I think you are being a tad biased because of Hajime no Ippo.
Maybe that could be it. I did sit down for. I know
you're not a biased guy, and I know you can take yourself out of a situation, but there is such thing as like unconscious bias.
Like I said, I knew going into this review that I'm like, all right, I've been watching 2 different animes at the same time. I know that it's going to affect each other. But I sat down and I thought, let me think back to all the episodes I've seen. Let me really take in all the characters. What is this? What is something that you really wanted from this anime? And I thought, you know what? It's okay story, but the fighting's got to be just pump. It's got to
I agree. It wasn't as intense, but I think as easygoing as it is, I think it's fine. I think it's fine, but I like the complete package of season 1. It's closed enough that there doesn't need to be a season 2. And now that I've learnt there's a season 2, I'm going, oh shit, I want to know what happens in season 2 now.
You know what this reminds me of? Now, there used to be a thing I used to watch on TV years ago called it's like these
Pokemon, Digimon.
Give me a second, guys.
Beyblade.
Give me a second. Trampoline. Basketball. I think it's called. What the fuck is this called again? It's like this thing where you're on. There's like trampolines on like a basketball court, and
what, a game or a place?
It's actual like a TV show. I can't remember if it's called Slam Dunk.
Okay, yeah, no,
but
I don't
basically
know.
it was this sport, right? And it had like trampolines and it was basketball, but you like jump on the trampolines, whatever. It's pretty gritty. It was very full contact, more than basketball. And I got this vibe. I'm thinking, all right, it's boxing, but it's got this gear. It's underground. I'm like, this is gonna get intense.
No, bro. I can understand that. I think your expectations weren't met. I think I went in with. I didn't really expect anything, and I think I come out enjoying it much better.
Yeah, I think that's why
I think going into season 2, I'll have more expectations.
Oh, 1000%. I really did want this to up the ante. I really wanted it to be gritty in my face. It wasn't in my face enough for it.
Well, let me put it this way. I think the Joe Yuri rivalry is very similar to the Ippo Miyata rivalry.
I was gonna say what's his name, Sendo?
No,
that was the last person he fought in the anime.
No, Miyata is his rival in Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah, but I think where I've watched it, he doesn't play a big part.
Well, no, but they're
in, like, is it Thailand he went to go fight?
But they're building up to fight each other throughout the entire thing.
Yes, they are.
And this is what the essence of this Megalobox is. They're building up the fight between Joe and Yuri. It just gets to it a lot quicker than Hajime no Ippo.
All right, so this little spoiler: do they actually fight in the manga?
No, I don't believe they do.
That's what I mean. Like, come on.
Well, as far as I'm aware, and I'm not actually caught up with the manga, but Ippo doesn't even box anymore.
Yeah, you did say that, and which is kind of sad because I'm like, I do like him.
I think
he's very likable.
He's a trainer now.
Oh, he's a very likable character. That's definitely why I like it. It was a very feel good anime.
Well, do you know what? Like, we'll say 6.5.
6.5. Listen, guys.
And we'll watch. Do you know what? We'll watch season 2 at some point. It will come, and maybe we can talk about it more. Unless there's going to be a season 3, which I don't know.
I have no idea.
But if season 2 is the end, we can score season 2 and we can talk about it as a complete package.
Okay.
Similar to what we're going to do with Neon Genesis Evangelion.
Yes.
But speaking of Hajime no Ippo, and I know you've touched on it a little bit, so you don't need to go into it crazy amounts. But so the next section of the podcast is, what have you been watching? What have you been reading?
Okay, so
and obviously at the end we will get that notorious One Piece update, and I'm getting a very fantastic look from Shaq right now.
It's not a good look. I started back reading Mashle, which I think.
Okay, you're going. I thought we were going into Hajime no Ippo.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I finished Hajime no Ippo. I think it's a fantastic anime. Oh, this season is a fantastic anime.
Sorry, so, and I have said maybe we'll review it one day properly. But where does it actually end the first season?
He's the Japan featherweight champion.
So that's where it ends.
It literally ends right there. He gets the belt.
Who does he beat? Sendo.
He
beats Sendo. Oh, so yeah, because he doesn't beat Date, does he?
No, he doesn't beat Date, and he retires afterwards.
Yes,
so that really makes him salty. Which I love that. Like, he took his L, and he's like, no, it can never happen again. I can never lose his title again.
So I think the next, it's either a special or a season is like his title defense fights.
Okay, there was a little quick OVA of
is it Kimura?
Kimura's like origin, which I thought is great.
Oh, Kimura's origin. I thought it was Kimura and what's the dude that does the Grim Reaper dude?
Oh no! I can't remember his name.
Because they have a fight.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, in the same weight class.
Lightweight, yeah. Yeah, he moves up because he knows.
Fucking heavyweight.
No, lightweight.
Wait. Sorry. Let me just Hajime.
Kimura's a lightweight. Is it Mashaba? Is it Mashaba? Thingy's brother.
I think it's Mashaba. I'm trying to find.
He's a featherweight. Ippo fucks him up. He moves up to lightweight.
That's it. Takamura.
Oh no! You're talking about Takamura. I'm talking Kimura.
No, I'm talking about Takamura's origin. It was like a little OVA sort of type thing.
Oh, and he used to be like a school thug type of thing.
Yeah, he was like that was really sick actually, because you just see that he was just talented from the get-go.
Have you seen? And it's not really a spoiler to say the name of the fighter. Have you seen Takamura versus Brian Hawk?
No, I've heard that is sick.
Okay, so maybe on the next episode, when we have any updates on like what we've been watching and stuff, maybe you would have watched that by then, and you can talk about it because it is genuinely amazing.
I've heard a lot about that fight. When people talk about Hajime and Ippo, they mention that fight to me. I was like, yeah, it's fucking sick. Like they'll show me on YouTube and shit.
I think when we have more time, maybe because it's a 75 episode.
It's a big one, so
we can do it as a bumper podcast maybe one day.
Maybe. What else have I been watching? Because at the moment, a lot of shit's kind of like on break right now. So obviously, Black Clover's been on break for God knows how long. Attack on Titan's on break. My Hero hasn't returned for a long fucking time. So
you've only really been watching Hajime no Ippo and Megalobox.
Pretty much. With Olivia and I are trying to figure out what to watch next.
I wonder what to watch.
She still hasn't watched One Piece with me, bro. Like we
get to the One Piece update.
Yeah. So I haven't watched that. It's mostly just been TV related stuff. I've been on my TV shit.
Yeah, I haven't really been watching much anime. I want to watch more anime though.
Yeah, man. Like there's cool shit out there, man.
But do you know what it is? I see stuff and I go, I want to watch that this.
I thought it's normally a thing where
there's this new one called Spy X Family.
It's been popping up on my.
And I want to watch it for this.
Oh, okay. Let me see how many fucking things.
It's not finished yet.
Oh, it's not finished?
No, so I think we should hold off for a little while. I think it's only like 20 odd episodes.
Is it like?
Oh, it's only 7 episodes so far.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. It's gonna be a couple months before it finishes.
Yeah, people have been saying it's pretty good. A lot of
it's like a spy that has to have a family for like I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I've definitely heard a lot of things about it.
I think we should watch that when it comes out. But then I would watch it now. But like I think I would really like to watch that.
We'll watch it when it's done, and then we can
we'll review it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's easy that way.
But reading, you were saying Mashle.
So I started again last night.
What again?
Not from the top. Like I literally started from where I left off, which is when Adam bloody blah.
Who the fuck's Adam?
Damn.
Who the hell is Adam? What chapter?
This guy, Adam Jobs.
Yeah, no, I don't know who that is. I must do because I've read it, but I do not remember this person.
So it's like chapter.
Oh, he was Wahlberg's mentor. Yeah.
So Wahlberg and him were having a fat scuff, and then Wahlberg pulled out the big guns, but it just wasn't enough. And Mashle saved him in it, like before he got killed.
Oh, when he goes like third pillar. No, what's it? Third.
I think it's like something third. But
that's it. Thirds. It's thirds.
Yeah, he brings out the god in his one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, this
and it's like
off.
It's like a time god or some shit in it.
He's the time god.
Space god.
He's a space god. Yeah. And I thought, okay, this is really sick. Mashle comes out, saves him, like, yo, you're about to die. Boom, boom, boom.
So what chapter is this?
I think it's like maybe chapter. Last time I left off is like chapter 69 because he was about to get fucked up by
Okay, so you're about 40 chapters behind.
Yeah, it's not that far. I haven't fallen behind that much.
Okay.
So yeah, he's unleashed some monster, and now Mashle literally just like grabbed the chain and like he.
Oh yeah, I do remember this now. Yeah,
so
yeah.
I'm like, okay, that's sick. So yeah.
You call him Mashle. You call him Mashle.
That's what it is. That's what it is. Mashle.
It's Mash.
What I call him? Oh fuck! It is Mash. Sorry.
But you've been reading anything? Because I know you read Black Clover, but I don't know if we mentioned it on last episode or.
Yeah, I've caught up. So it's on
no, but I'm just saying, have we said?
I don't think so.
Has it happened between the month?
It might have happened. So
if it hasn't, I apologize for repeating myself or ourselves. But Black Clover is on a hiatus at the moment.
We don't know how long for.
I mean, there was an estimated thing from Shonen saying it could be about 3 or 4 months, but it could be longer. But
that's like
because the artist, the manga artist wants to sort of rest up for the final arc of Black Clover,
which is sad because like I feel like we kind of got catfished because the writer was saying that, oh yeah, he's looking to make it like a One Piece kind of length thing. I'm like, oh shit, I'm in for the long haul.
And it's like 300 chapters.
I'm like,
so if even being really ambitious, if this arc is going to be 100 chapters, which it won't be,
or
it could
maybe it's the end of this kind of
story,
and then maybe he moves on to like Black Clover such and such, or Black Clover subtitled blah 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 blah.
I mean, maybe.
I feel like they're probably.
The worlds could benefit from another story. My only issue is like, will there be the interest? Well, there might be initial interest, but it could fall off.
I think so, because
it's very tricky, because you look at Naruto and then is it Boruto?
Well, Shouboutai came after Naruto.
No, but that's still continuing with Naruto. Yeah. Now it's about his son, and from what I understand, people don't really care for it.
It's some people like it, some people don't.
But not as much as people loved Naruto.
Well, how do you beat Naruto?
Huh?
How do you like top Naruto?
Well, that's my point. If Black Clover finishes on such a high, how do you top Black Clover? Well, with a side story.
This might be cheating when I say this, because it's kind of like an anomaly. But from Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z, like, how do? But
that's a continuation of the story with the same characters. It's basically Dragon Ball to Dragon Ball Z is just a time skip.
You think there might be a time skip then in this situation? If they are going to continue. Maybe.
I don't know. I mean, the official announcement was that he's gearing up for the final arc.
Oh man, it feels like it's finishing so quickly. I feel like I haven't been
because you haven't been reading it for so long.
Yeah, I haven't. No.
I've been reading it for like 2 years.
From the beginning, yeah.
No, not from the beginning. Not from the beginning.
Did you watch it at first, or did you?
I watched it up until he fights the first devil. You know, the one that the elves when he fights all the people become like half elf, half people, and then there's a devil and stuff like that. Yeah. I watched up until that, and then I read the rest.
Okay, yeah, I watched up until he started doing Devil Union, and then
you wanted to read it,
because that's where the anime is left off now. And I'm like, because Olivia keeps asking me, "Oh, when's it gonna come out?" It's like, not for
we don't know.
Long time.
We don't know.
You're not seeing that anime until 2025.
well, maybe so. Well, who knows?
I don't know, man. There's certain animes, like I think I said this maybe last podcast, but the way anime is being handled right now, especially the big ones, is you did say this tragic, last time, man.
Well, I think the biggest thing for that, and it depends on what you classify as big, and unfortunately, I would say the fan base is big, but I wouldn't say the anime is big, is the JoJo series.
Oh no! Like, if you saw the views on Stone Ocean's trailer, it's like 11 mil. Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. I think it has the fans. I just don't think the anime itself is big. It's not like I mean, shonen are typically the biggest animes out there.
I don't think it's ridiculous to say that it is probably the biggest animes or shonens.
No,
I don't think it's a stretch.
Like, I wouldn't say JoJo's bigger than Black Clover. I wouldn't say it's bigger than My Hero. I wouldn't say it's bigger than One Piece. I wouldn't say it's bigger than Dragon Ball.
Oh, that Dragon Ball, sorry. No, I don't think it's bigger than My Hero, Black Clover. I think My Hero definitely has more of explosive. I think JoJo's getting up there.
Oh, it's getting the popularity. I'm not saying it doesn't. I just don't think it has that. I think because it is aimed at a more of a mature audience, that you're always going to fall short on like the coverage of people.
I would say it's probably in that same vein as like Berserk.
Yeah, probably.
It's like the manga popping off. Like when the
guy died, didn't he?
Who?
Didn't the manga artist die?
Fuck, what happened? Let me see.
I swear he died. I'm pretty sure the manga artist died.
Wait.
Just put manga artist dead. Yeah.
Yeah,
he did die last year, in fact.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be finished.
I guess not, unless there's like, are there more than one artist on the manga normally?
Depends.
Hopefully there is.
I mean, bastards like Hunter x Hunter, which you sent me today, that the guy in the last 4 years, sorry,
has only done 6 chapters.
No, 4 chapters. You said
4 chapters, yeah. Fam, that's insane. I'm sorry, like, Hunter x Hunter is a fucking good anime, and it's sad.
I've told you this. It has the potential to be the best in the world. Its powering system, Nen, is by far one of the best, if not the best, sort of powers in a shonen anime.
I will read Berserk though.
Yeah, read it. I think I've got it on my list to start, but I'm in no rush to read it.
That might be my next one to read.
what I've been leading on to what I've so I don't know if I finished it when we did the last episode, but I finished reading Soul Eater.
Okay, how was that?
Soul Eater is wicked, man.
Wait, actually, no, you did say that.
Did I finish it last time?
I think you did. I think you did say that. That sounds familiar. Go ahead, though.
But Soul Eater is wicked. I know I was very close to finishing for a very long time, so I might have been very close in the last episode. But I finished reading it. I finished reading it now, and it is generally wicked. I'm so sad that they didn't continue with the anime, which I think I said in the last episode as well. But the guy who wrote, or the manga artist that wrote and drew Soul Eater, he did Fire Force as well.
Yeah, I saw you in the chat talking to Alex about Fire Force.
Fire Force, I'm breezing through. It is. I'm like 200 out of 300 chapters through, and it is fucking sick. Do you know about Fire Force?
Kinda. I have seen the trailer.
I mean, I would love to put this on the list for this.
I think I probably should check it out. You know what manga I should need to read? I need to read Chainsaw Man. That's probably going to be after.
Oh, I've read that. The anime's coming out soon, and we will do it on this. We'll do it for this.
Yeah.
Should we do Fire Force for this as well?
How many episodes of the first season?
I think there's 20 odd.
Okay, I need to make sure that I don't leave it last minute.
Well, no, we don't have to do it next month. I'm just saying we could.
Yeah,
we can do it.
We can do it.
But yeah, no, I've been reading Fire Force. Fire Force is absolutely wicked, and then all my other standard stuff as well. Like I've been carrying on reading, as we said. Black Clover has gone on a hiatus, but
you're reading like a couple manhwas as well. Was that Soul Eater?
No, Soul Eater is a manga. Manhwas are the
Korean, isn't it?
Yeah, so that was Solo Leveling, which I finished.
Okay.
And the beginning of the end, which is ongoing.
I heard about that one.
It's very, very good.
Okay.
It's very, very good. But trust me, Fire Force is so fucking sick, and I think we should watch it for this show.
Wait, this isn't? Is it?
It is it. Yeah, it's a book that gets turned into a manga. It's a light novel.
Okay.
But yes. But no, that's it. And I think we'll spend the next. Do you know what? We'll give it a nice modest sort of time frame. We'll spend the next 10 minutes, Shaq. Give us the almighty One Piece update. 10 minutes worth of One Piece update.
There's no One Piece update.
Okay, yeah.
Well, I have finished Hajime no Ippo now, so Olivia can't back out of the deal saying that we will watch One Piece after we finish Hajime.
Oh, there was a deal.
She was like, "No, can you just finish it off? We only got like 10 episodes." And I'm like, "It's never." She does this thing where she'll instinctively find other things to watch, so we don't have to watch One Piece because she's so put off by that last arc. And I'm like, you can't do that no more.
Can we say that if next episode of the anime critique you have no update, that you will cut ties and just watch it, cut allegiance and just watch it?
I'm gonna put my foot down this week and say no, we have to watch it.
Okay.
And I think today I can probably watch it after I get her. So after I pick her up, I can probably say nope, we're gonna start watching it again.
It'd be nice because
I'm fucking tired.
It's genuinely like some of the best shit.
No, like I said, guys, I said it on here.
There is a slog, and I know there's a slog because there's so many episodes. But you know when they say the journey is as good as the end, that's what it's like.
It's not even a problem with me sitting through the episode.
I'm not saying you're the problem.
No, like guys, I know this anime is good. I've seen the reviews. I've seen the clips.
You've seen us popping off every week when a chapter gets released.
I've seen all the things that everyone shows me about One Piece to tell me that One Piece is good. I know it, guys. It's just sometimes when you start something with someone and they're not in the mood to watch it, you have to respect that.
Oh, of course.
And you can't just go and soldier on by yourself because that's a betrayal. Like when people were watching like fucking
to be fair,
Dragon Ball Z without me.
If she gives you the permission that you can continue, then
yeah, obviously a man will just have it on every day, and I probably will catch up with him by July. Bro, I will literally put One Piece on my second monitor and just watch it in the background while I'm working. And I'll probably get like 10 episodes done a day, and I'll be caught up so quickly.
So that would be 100 episode in 10. So a month would be 300 episodes, so 3 months would be 900 episodes. You're about 100 episodes through
130
now.
odd episodes.
Yeah, so you'd be caught up in 3 months if you watch 10 episodes a day.
So that's like about August time. Yeah, so if I actually today, if she said just watch it without me, then basically.
But we'll see.
We'll see.
I mean, hopefully we'll have an update next time.
I know, guys. I'm falling behind.
It's fine though.
Yeah.
I mean, you come here for the review of the one we've been watching, and for this month it was Megalobox. So
sucks.
I mean,
I'm joking.
Raw.
I'm playing. Alright, send us off, Jamie.
Yeah, you got nothing else? No more sly digs about Megalobox.
I'll take it easy on it. I'll leave it alone. It's not my thing.
My Megalobox baby. But guys, so yeah, thank you for listening today. This has been the Anime Critique. Do you agree with our score? I mean, Shaq didn't really. Have you any suggestions on what we should watch next? I mean, we've named quite a few. Name some more. Why not email us your thoughts, suggestions, and score? Well, and scores, if you agree with any scores previously, at the Betwixt Ideas feedback at gmail.com. That's the Betwixt Ideas feedback at gmail.com. Make sure you follow our Twitter at Betwixt Ideas, our Instagram at the Betwixt Ideas, and our Instagram at the Betwixt Ideas podcast, and our TikTok at the Betwixt Ideas podcast. We will see you next month for the next episode. Thank you so much for listening today, guys, and we will see you in June.
Bye. Oh shit! I didn't even. Where the fuck is the? Where is the thing? Did I close it? Oh no. Sorry, I couldn't find the program. Bye, guys.
Bye.